Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber with One Rental at a Time. And as promised in the daily financial news this morning, I have an extra special guest. I have somebody that I've been following for over a year now, and we are lucky enough to set this up today. Let's welcome Nasir, the real estate guru. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right, man. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for saying yes. I mean, you're doing some amazing things both in your business and inspiring others. I think getting your story out to more and more people is going to help. So thank you very much.
Hey, I appreciate it, man.
Well, the first thing I want to start with is your real estate IG page, or your IG page says real estate guru. That's your handle, I guess I would call it. But why don't we talk about what is a real estate guru? Because I don't think everybody gets it, and they really should.
All right, so I'm a real estate guru. I call myself, I'm Nasir, aka the real estate guru. I'm not a guru, I'm a guru because I actually do this business. So basically, I've been on YouTube since about 2012, and there was a lot of watered down stuff and gurus talking about real estate, and they wasn't doing any deals. So that's how I came up with the name.
Yeah, Duru is special. And again, following you for a while now, you're definitely in the business doing deals all the time, both yourself and helping others. And it hasn't changed. You started this, or at least YouTube, in 2012. In 2021, we still got a lot of fake gurus talking real estate. It's kind of funny.
Probably more.
Yeah.
Probably more. Yeah.
Yeah. There's one real estate channel I get sent all the time. I won't name him, but let's just say he's a young guy. He's talking about real estate and rentals specifically, which is what I've been doing for 20 years. And he doesn't own any. I think it's kind of funny that you don't own any and you're talking smack.
It's a lot of people like that in this social media space.
It is crazy, right?
It's insane. It's insane.
Well, you know what? I want to rewind the clock because I've been, like I said, stalking you for a little while now. I think your story begins in 2007. Is that right?
That's correct, man. 2007, I had bought a house to flip, me and my friend, and we was watching HGTV. We got inspired. We thought it was going to be easy, and we ended up losing $7,000 a piece.
All right, well, that's not horrible. You know, how long was the process?
At the time it was, looking back, I got saved. It was a blessing because we sold that house in February of 2008. Ooh. So you remember February of 2008, that's the start. Things went from bad to worse.
I remember.
Yeah, man. So it's like after we sold that, man, that's when the major banks start, saying we might collapse. But they got the government bailout and all that. But yeah, man, it was, I was luck. I don't believe in luck, but I was fortunate.
Yeah, no, that sometimes timing works, right? Sometimes being active at the right time. So again, was this in North Carolina?
This was in Jersey. I was born and raised in Jersey.
Okay, born and raised in Jersey. So your first flip is in Jersey. You get out just in the nick of time because people talk like the last crash, like they remember it, and they don't. I mean, real estate prices for 5 years were like only one direction, right?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't keeping up with the market. I just hopped in and
hopped out. Gotcha.
There you go. Hopped in because, this is what I wanted to do. And it looked easy.
Yeah. That damn HGTV show. I don't know what the number is. I've actually met a few people that have that are making money flipping houses, but most people that watch HGTV sitting on the couch, reaching over to the wife or husband going, "Hey, honey, we're smarter than them. Let's do it." It doesn't end well.
No.
So where does this really start for you? So you get in, get out in 2007, 2007 to 10, kind of a down market. What happens next?
Oh, that's a good question. Nobody never asked me that question on the podcast. 2000, I moved down to Charlotte in 2008. So after I sold the house, moved down to Charlotte like 2 weeks later. Charlotte, North Carolina, for those who don't know, Charlotte, North Carolina was the number 2 biggest banking city at the time. I believe they're number 3 behind San Francisco because Wells Fargo bought Wachovia. So banking industry is big here. And I I graduated from college. You know, I never had a good job. My first job was in the call center making $10 an hour. But at the time, Charlotte was cheap. Okay. So being that Charlotte was cheap, what I did was I was like, okay, well, flipping doesn't work because you can't sell anything. So I'm going to pick up a bunch of rentals.
Okay.
So I bought me a rental in 08.
All right.
I bought me another rental in 09.
All right.
I went to go buy the now when I got the one in 09, what happened was I was still in the call center, but now I'm making like $12.50.
Okay.
Moving up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 25%, man.
So what happens next? I got 2 rental properties. I'm like, man, all right. My plan in my mind was like, I'm gonna buy enough rentals, whereas I can leave my job.
Makes sense.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So I go get another house, and they're like, well, your debt to income is too high. We can't give you no more loans. So I said, huh?
What? You could do that?
Yeah, I could do that. So my career is over like that.
I've done it too. I don't have enough.
Like, I was just like, I thought they ended my career.
Wow.
Ended
that's hilarious. So so let's just talk, because again, people won't realize this. So when you say Charlotte was cheap in 08, what are we talking cheap? Like 70 grand, 50 grand? I have no idea. I'm guessing.
Less than that, man.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, we talking one of my rentals I bought for 42,000.
Okay, 42. All right.
Another one I bought in 09 that was built in like 06 or 05. Rehabbed, I bought for 77, and I overpaid at that time.
Wow. All right. And these are just straight up bank loans. You put 20% down, just traditional mortgages, nothing fancy, those first 2?
Traditional mortgages, nothing fancy.
Okay. All right. And then what were rents do like? Do you happen to remember that? I'm just trying to figure out how great a deal you had.
I never forget those.
I love it.
All right. So the first one was better. The first one, my mortgage was $350.
Okay.
Rent was $750.
That's pretty good. Yeah. All right.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Second one, the one I regretted for years and it kicked my butt. Mortgage was $690.
Yeah.
That one got $795.
Yeah, that's a little skinny.
Too skinny.
Yeah. Yeah. I call those alligators. I did that once myself after a refi. I took out too much cash and smacked me really good for 2 years until I sold it. So, okay. So do you still own these today? Just curious.
Man, first one I sold too early. I made money, but I sold too early. The second one I bought in 09, sold in 18.
Oh, that's not bad.
Walked away from the closing table with 100,000, and 70,000 was net profit.
Well, that's funny. I hope people hear that, right? You regretted purchasing it. You overpaid. It frankly didn't cash flow, but you were paying down the debt. I'm sure rents went up in 8 or 9 years, but also appreciation. You walked out with 100K and 70K net. So sometimes being in the market, being holding pays off sometimes.
I'm gonna tell you like this, man. The average person can't do that at a job.
No,
I bought that 09, okay? 09 from 2021. I know people with master's degrees still making between 40 and 50.
No, yeah, me too. You're right.
So yeah. I don't know if you ever did the corporate America thing or anything like that, but I did. And so you're probably familiar. In corporate America, they have like 10-cent raises.
Oh, yeah.
Or 1% or 2% or 3% and raises.
I didn't have a raise for the last decade of my career.
Wow.
Yeah.
I met people like that when I was working. I said, no, I can't do this for the rest of my life. No way.
Yeah, no way. Real estate saved me. So yeah. All right. So this is fun. So, okay. So you get in, get out, you flip, you lose the money. You get in, you own 2 rentals. A bank tells you no on the third deal. So I'm curious, on the third deal, did you figure something out? Did you go private money, seller financing? Did you let the deal go, or what happens, Nasir?
This is what happened, bro.
Uh-oh.
I read a book, changed my life. I
All
was
right.
the site director told me to read this book. You know, man, you're doing that. You should read this book. You know,
Okay.
but for those people listening, I was young at the time. I'm in my 20s at the time. I was young. I didn't know any better. You never tell your job you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Never let them know you got anything going outside of work. You know what I mean? All your life is this job. You
Yes.
sleep, eat, breathe this job. That's what you tell them.
Yes.
Of course, I did the opposite of that. So
Of course.
yeah, that's how I know to tell y'all to do the right thing. So anyway, you know, he recommended this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
Rich Dad Poor. It said something that stuck out to me. He said, "Man, before you learn about real estate invest, before you do real estate investing, you have to learn about real estate investing. Before you invest in stocks, you have to learn about stocks." I said, "Wait, what? I never learned about real estate."
Oops.
I was just doing it. Like I didn't learn about it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get you. Yeah. Yeah. Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah. So I went to, I thought, and you know, when you start reading the right books, you start connect with the right people. So somebody told me about the RIA. For those who don't know, the RIA is a Real Estate Investment Association. Now I'm taking you guys back to like 2010.
Okay.
All right. So 2010, I joined the RIA and I go to the meetings and I literally stood up at one of the meetings like, yo, I want to sell one of my houses. My debt to income is too high. So if anybody's interested, you can buy it. And of course, the price was too high at the time. You know, we're talking in the middle of the recession, like the heart of the recession. So,
right.
And I didn't know that was too high, but it was like, yeah. So I was like, yeah, I can't buy any more houses. My debt to income high. Somebody said, whoa, that's only a problem if you want it to be a problem.
Yes.
Yes. It was like, man, one dude, he took me at the meeting. He said, man, I don't crawl into the bank for no loan. Yes. I've been doing this business for 20 years and I mean, with the bank for a loan. So
I love it.
Yeah, this is for those listening and that are newer. You probably don't know, but this is before the burn method was even the words.
Yeah.
Before people would what people probably knew about, but a lot of people weren't just going into local banks unless you knew about that. But it was like, man, you have to do creative financing, and then that's when I learned about wholesaling. Because at the time I was broke. I'm working in the call center, and so I learned about wholesaling, creative financing, owner financing, all this subject to. But what stuck out the best to me was the wholesaling. I'm like, man, this is the way I can build up cash.
Yeah, you get chunk money.
And that's what I did, man. 2011, did my first wholesale deal after 8 months of hard work.
Well, let's talk about that, because not a lot of people get into wholesaling, right? It attracts if people are attracted because of the money, they may perceive it to be easy. What you just said proves it wasn't. But let's just talk about it, right? You make a commitment, you grind for 8 months. I don't think people realize that that's kind of average, frankly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I know you've done a lot of, I stalk you on IG, right? You're interviewing people. I think you're at a meetup or whatever. One guy's 9 months, one guy's 12 months. And these are the best in the business now, but they all paid, I guess paying dues maybe is the right way to say it. You got to get in.
That's what I tell people. I tell like, man, you got to pay dues. And, they try to justify, well, I don't want to make big money. I want to make an extra 5,000 a month. I said, okay, well, all right.
Wow, yeah.
You're talking 60,000 a year outside of your job.
Yeah.
Do you know the average income of America? Average household income. I try to break it down so they understand what they're saying. Like, you'll be above average household income by making an extra 60 at part-time. So I try to explain to them, regardless of what, if you aim small, you aim high in real estate, it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult, especially with wholesaling.
Yeah. So let's talk about that first deal, right? You pay your dues 9 months. Let's talk about the 9 months first before you get the deal.
8 months. 8 months.
Or 8 months. I'm sorry. My bad. 8 months. I'm guessing I don't know what it was like in 2010. I guess apps weren't out, but you were probably buying lists and doing mailers and
Man, I was too broke.
What were we doing then?
I had to drive for dollars, man. It was.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna take you back to 2010. It was probably a handful of active real estate channels on YouTube.
Okay.
All right. So now, fast forward, it's thousands, literally.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
It was one active wholesaling podcast. One.
Okay.
I used to listen to that faithfully.
All right.
Which at the time it sucks. It's like, man, after I get through this one, I don't have anything else. So right, yeah. So it was one real wholesaling podcast. No apps out yet. I don't even think apps were a big thing on phones yet.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah,
Yeah,
2010.
it wasn't. Yeah, no, it wasn't. 2010. I don't know if you remember this, but Blackberries was still in style.
Yeah, I had one I worked for a company called Hewlett Packard, and Blackberries were a thing there. Yeah.
Yeah, like Blackberries was still. Unfortunately, and this had nothing to do with the conversation. BlackBerry didn't keep up with the 21st century. They figured since their target market was business people, why would business people need high-tech cameras and store phones and all this other stuff? And
they were wrong.
Right, they were totally wrong. So Steve Jobs got it right. So
there you go.
Yeah, with that being said, meetup.com. Any major city, hundreds of meetups in any major city. It was less than 3 or 5 active meetups on meetup.com.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the times we're in. So I was driving for dollars. I was writing down address, pen and paper.
Yep.
And writing a handwritten pre-stamped postcard.
Okay.
At that time, a handwritten pre-stamped postcard was 32 cents. And if I went to USPS.com and got it, it was $100 for $32.
There you go. Okay. All right. So you're driving for dollars again, probably what, 30, 45 minutes from your home? Just like.
Yeah. Just every Saturday morning for 8 months, work, go up and just pick a neighborhood. And this is where I'm working today.
That's awesome. All right. So you get a deal then in 8 months. How many postcards do you think you mailed? How many addresses? I want people to realize how much work went into this.
So mine will go like this: Saturday, write down the address. Sunday, do the filtering. Filtering is it was so many bank-owned homes that I get those off my list.
Oh yeah.
At the end of the month, I'm mailing between 80 and 100 postcards.
Okay. All right. So $32 roughly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't know any better, to go hard or anything like that. But I'm mailing 80 to 100. The time thing is killing me because it's literally if I start my handwritten postcards at 1 o'clock, I probably won't be done about 4 or 5.
Oh wow. So again, every week, every month, this is you're just like a hammer. You're doing it every week. It's just a thing. And then let's talk about success. You got a deal at the 8-month mark. What was that deal like?
I got a deal at it felt good. Proof of concept, man. It was only $2,000, but that's all I needed. Proof of concept.
Yeah, it had to feel good.
It felt great. Felt great. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So that was that 2010, 2011? I'm just trying to figure out timeline.
That was 2011. Then my first deal in November of 2011.
All right. So you go on to do some big things since then. Where does the gasoline start? Where do you step on the gas? Where are we?
After I got fired in September of 2012, my highest paying job, $38,000 a year. I had some fancy job title. At some company, I can't keep no job either, y'all. I just wasn't a good employee, and it was I was the problem. It was me. So
right.
Yeah, the last job, man. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can do this today, but what I did was, man, I basically just you find a nice looking resume online on the internet.
Yeah.
You just use that one.
Oh, why not? Yeah, I'm sure everybody does.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Those are fancy words.
So what happened was man, these people don't thought I was an expert at Microsoft Office Suite.
Okay.
And man, I don't know anything about no Microsoft Office Suite, man. And so they gave me these Excel sheets. Not like, okay. And the Excel things they were doing, and they were asking me to do it. It wasn't like, yo, I just punched some numbers in.
Yeah.
Man, they wanted me to build out formulas and
macros and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, yo, what? Like,
are you speaking English?
right. For 38,000, I thought, man, like, yeah, but it was, yeah. So that's what happened. So after, it wasn't no surprise fire. I knew I was gonna get fired. So
yeah,
it finally cut the puppet strings, man. And I've been out on my own, and highest paying job, 38,000. Got my bachelor's in communications, and man, bro, that I got fired September. That November, I didn't tell my family because I didn't want them to worry about me. Because you know how family at work, oh, you need to get a job, everything. Yeah, I didn't want that in my life, so I didn't tell them. And November, I made the most money I ever made, which was at the time the most money I ever made, which was 10,000 in a month. So I was like, man, that man. Then I told my family.
Yeah. You go from a 38K job, which is about $3,000 gross, to doing 10 grand the next month.
There you go.
You're feeling pretty good.
Feeling excellent. And just take this in consideration, man. After taxes, I was probably bringing home like 2,200.
Yeah, probably
the most 2,200 people the most a home every month. So it was like my thing was, I knew that if I can live off this, no way in hell I can't live off of whatever I make in my own business. I'm doing this is my overhead. All I gotta do is make this. So
yeah. That's funny you bring that up, because one of the things I love about your Instagram page is you kind of call that out, right? There's a lot of people living, I don't know, fake lifestyles, right? They're name brand shopping and living on credit, and they got nothing left. So I love the fact that you saw that way back in 2012 or 2013. You're like, dude, if I can live on this, my overhead's that, anything above that, I'm good. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, man. Fortunately, I give that. My parents started me saving early. My mother and father, they started me saving early as a child. So,
nice.
I got to give them credit for that. So, but yeah, man, that skill of saving is essential in life, because what happens, and I've seen it. You say you've been doing real estate 20 years, you said?
20 years, yeah.
All right, so I've been doing this 07, 30. All right, so you probably seen this 8,000 times, and I've probably seen it 500 times. But what happens is some people, they get extremely ambitious and they want to do this business full time. However, their overhead is insane. Like the overhead to keep the house running and their car to keep everything they got. So if they have to a monthly nut of 7,500, and you get out here and do it full time and starting from scratch, not gonna come easy.
Well, I tell you what, these are things that I've seen a lot. And again, I've seen a couple of cycles, right? Because I was active before the run up. First off, some people get in this business and they catch the right cycle. Like if you started wholesaling in 2010, 11, 12, those were some pretty good years, right? As the market kind of heals itself, frankly, the market covers a lot of bad habits, right? Because the market's going up. So I've seen a lot of people get cocky and frankly get stupid with money, right? They have a couple of good checks. They got a record November, then a record December, and a record January. And next thing you know, they're flashing around in a Ferrari or, doing a freaking private jet to the freaking Caymans or something. They don't realize that they got to save, and because you will have some dry months. This business, when you get cocky, this business will kick you in the nuts.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah. I strongly agree. Like you said, you're gonna have dry months. It happens.
It happens.
It's just going. It's part of the business. It's part of the entrepreneur journey. It's ups and downs. It's not like you do everything once and then you're successful.
Yeah.
I had to learn the hard way in my 20s. Everybody. That's why I thought life worked in my early 20s, and it doesn't work like that. Yeah. Life doesn't work like that. So. It's going to be hard whether you do this business or not. So choose the hard that will work for you.
Yeah. The other thing I see was really similar to what you're talking about. And again, it's in your Instagram page. Again, Instagram page is Real Estate Duru, correct?
Yes,
Real, yeah.
DORU, not guru, but DORU, because I
Yeah.
actually do this business.
Yeah. Duru. Awesome. Is there sometimes, especially in wholesaling, the business attracts, I don't know if it's a mindset or what it is, but it's like, I'm going to quit my job. I'm going all in. I'm going to burn the boats. And you turn around and you got no nest egg, no reserves. You got a family, you got kids to feed. That's maybe not maybe, I don't think that's the right thing to do all the time.
I tell people, man, don't quit your job.
Oh, thank goodness. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what you're going to say, but that's.
I tell people, like, don't quit your job. I said, listen, I got fired from my job and I was doing deals before I got fired.
Yes.
Those stories of people quitting their job and everything going right are great to hear, but that's an exception and not the majority of what happens when you just go out there. Let's start this business, doing it on the side.
Mm-hmm.
From doing it on the side, once your job gets in the way or you have everything lined up, then leave corporate America. Yeah. But if your job is not in the way or anything like that, so I get students all the time asking me, depending, like if a student mom makes 50,000, okay, and they having their wholesale deals, they're getting wholesale deals between 15 and 20,000. I'll tell them, hey, look, you're doing very well. Save up 1 year's salary, which good. You got you're at 35. So mm-hmm. Save up. Once you save up 1 year's salary, then you can cut the strings yourself.
Yeah, I like that.
But then now you have a nest egg at minimum for a year, because again, if you're making 50 gross, and you got 50 cash, that's that can take you a long way through the year, because it's like that's what I tell people.
You're very conservative. I love all of this, and shout out mom and dad for teaching us to save early. That's awesome. My parents did not do that. Money was a stressor in my family. So yeah, if we had it, we spent it. That was what I was taught, and we didn't have money a lot. So I'm curious now that in your journey, right? Buy and hold, or you flip, buy and hold, POs or proof of concept, wholesaling, get fired from your job, have a record month. Where do you go next? You wholesale for a while. You have a book, I think, called Flipping Houses. So you start flipping again, I'm guessing.
Yeah, wholesale houses. I went wholesale houses. The next year, I knew I didn't know how to rehab houses, and I wasn't good at it because of my last experience on flipping it. Yeah. So I partnered with an experienced investor that I sold deals to. So
there you go.
Partnered with him, and then he got me back in the rehab game. So ever since then, man, I've been wholesaling, rehabbing, and picking up rentals here and there.
All right. So let's talk about 2020. 2020 was an interesting year because as you know, inventory was low, right? At least on the MLS, was very low. Prices were raging higher. Rents went crazy higher. How did 2020 treat you this year in your business?
I mean, we definitely took a hit. And because of during the course of that lockdown, a lot of the cash buyers panicked.
Yes, I remember.
A lot of their lenders panicked. So their lenders pulled out on them. So,
Yeah, I remember it was really weird. It was like, this was 20, it's like April and May. I remember having deals like in docs, and then the lenders backed out, right? They didn't wire or whatever, release the funds, I guess.
That's what was
weird. It was a weird couple of months.
Yeah, that's what was going on. We're trying to see what this is about. And
lockdown. What the hell's a lockdown? We never done this in the US. What the hell?
Right, exactly. So I did buy 3 rentals while we were on lockdown.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm glad, man. I bought 3 rentals in a personal residence. I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in the world.
Oh, come on. But, that's good.
The price, I had to convince my lender to lend on these though. I had to convince him to lend on these though. I had to tell him, man, I got a good relationship with him.
Yeah.
He said, man, are you sure about Were you around? Yeah, I wasn't around. I wasn't full time. I did this deal. He said, man, I don't know, man. I think you can buy this stuff cheaper. And you don't want to wait? You don't want to wait? I said, no, I don't. I said, man, this is a good deal. I said, listen.
Yeah.
I said, on my personal residence, I said, right now this house is worth 280. I said, I don't care what happens into the market. You're not getting a '07 built house for 140. It doesn't matter what happens. It's not going to go down that low. This is not there's not fraud. The market
exactly.
It was backed by fraud. So
fraud. Yes.
Yeah. So there's no prevalent fraud going on like that. So
that's cool.
He trusted me, man, and he made me put some money in the deal. But
yeah,
man.
I'm guessing that worked out because appreciation has been pretty good out west. I'm sure it's been pretty good out east.
Man, it worked out a lot, man. It's worth north of 300. You know, granted, I put like 60,000 of my own money into it, so my cost base is around 200. It's definitely worth north of 300 and climbing. But
nice.
my thing was, man, it's like and again, I'm not the smartest guy. I'm just educated at what it is I do. I knew with the rentals, I was like, man, it don't matter what happened to the market.
Yeah.
Getting rentals for 50,000 is far and few between. So let me take advantage of these, while I got hooked. So, and I was like, they're just gonna be rentals, so it doesn't matter. And everything worked out though, fortunately, by the grace of God. Yeah.
Well, I have a saying, it's always a great time to do a great deal. But it takes work, right? You've got to know your market, right? It's not gambling. It's when people get excited, I call it shooting stars, right? You see them all the time. They get excited. They're almost vibrating talking to you, right? They're like vibrating. I'm like, dude, slow down, right? This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. Go learn the market, right? I don't even want you writing an offer until you've looked at like 100 homes, right? You don't know what a good deal is yet, So, but once you learn the market like you do, it's always a great time to do a great deal. You get conservative financing, 30-year fixed rate debt, rents are exploding. What's not to like?
Man, and one of my mentors told me when I was newer that he was saying, regardless of what, inflation is going to happen.
Yeah.
Regardless of what. So when I first moved to Charlotte, I was in a nice neighborhood, balcony, outdoor pool, 24-hour fitness center, 24-hour laundry room, and a nice side of town, man. My rent was $560. It was like $560, I think. And the special was, because I moved into the 08, the special was if you qualified, you could do a $1 security deposit.
There you go. Oh,
my credit has always been excellent. So, even, and a lot of people didn't understand at the time, like my friends, because they were all young. They understand I thought I was lying or anything, but I had a 700s, but credit and income are two totally different things.
Oh, absolutely.
You can have an excellent credit score and still be broke. So,
most people with good credit scores are broke. So yeah, very different. Yeah, those are often connected, but they have no connection. Yes.
Totally. There you go. That's perfectly said. All right. So fast forward in Charlotte, the average one bedroom is $1,000.
Okay. Wow.
A month. So
definitely inflation.
Man, inflation is an understatement. So with, even with, the real estate market getting a correction, I don't see rents taking a significant blow.
Yeah. So again, I've been doing this a while. So what happened to me last time, right? So I'm buying houses. I 1031 out of houses into apartments. The worst time for me as a landlord, including the last year, was actually 07, because I was having tenants that were declined get yes answers from banks, right? They were buying homes when I said no as a rental application. Talk about fraud. I mean, seriously, what is going on? I'm saying no to a renter and you're getting a yes from a bank. They were giving 102% loans. It was stupid. Remember that? It was crazy.
I remember that. Yes. Yeah. That's the loan I got to buy a house. Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And for those who wasn't around at that time, it may sound crazy, may sound stupid. I don't want to get into politics. I was having this conversation the other day. Some people say, blame the Clinton administration. Some people blame the Bush administration. I'm going to say that the intent of the presidents were good. Where, we want to push home ownership.
Home ownership. Yeah, the intention was awesome. I still think it's important. Home ownership, getting on the property ladder is the key to financial stability for the middle class. I mean, let's just call it what it is.
Okay. And even with inflation, right? If you get a 30-year fix, your mortgage stays the same.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it makes sense. But what happened was people got greedy on Wall Street, and
Wall Street got greedy. They got a little taste. They got a little more taste. They're like, this shit's good. Give me some more. And then that was the problem. That last 18 months was just dumb.
You're right. Okay. So that was the problem. And with that, I was like, literally, guys, I was 24. I had no job. I didn't have a job at all. Me and my friend, I was able to get a bank loan with no job, like no income.
Yeah.
They did what was called like an 80-20 arm. I didn't know I was signing, but I just signed the paperwork.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a house. Well, okay.
Yay. Dude, that was happening all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we wonder why housing crashed. I mean, come on, really?
Right.
All right. Oh, this is so much fun. Well, let's do me a favor, Nasir. Tell us about where your business is now. What are you doing next, and how you're helping students? Because I've been again stalking you for a while. You really are helping people.
All right. So basically, I'm wholesaling houses out of Charlotte, North Carolina, the metro area. Buying rentals here and there. Very selective on fix and flips. I mean, the market. I can't call it. I don't think the market will crash in 2021. I think you're good through the end of this year if you're in a flip.
Yeah.
I think the economy will be on your side due to the shortage of houses across the country, supply and demand, So, right, I'm being very selective on flips that I'm picking up. And
well, let me ask you this question on flips. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I think you're right? I think you do lipstick flips, hotels, whatever you want to call them. You got to be in and out this calendar year, right? Which is like 4 months. And the other thing, I don't know if you look at, but I try to stay below the median for the market, right? So if median is 250, I want to play in the low 200s. I would not want to do a flip today in the 500s if the median is 200. Do you agree with that, or you don't care?
No, I strongly agree with that. I do the same. I want to stay, if possible, first time home buyer price.
Yes.
If possible. But here's the kind of that, guys. That's the hardest stuff to get.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's like nothing there.
There you go. So it's like nothing there. So that's the hardest stuff to get. So right now, across the country, guys are buying at higher prices, fixing it up and just sell it at a higher price. And the economy is on your side right now. So, when markets like this happen, you don't want to beat on your chest that you're a genius.
Yeah, that's what I tried to get to earlier, right? I've seen a lot. I saw one guy, Nasir, he was worth $10 million, like a legit $10 million in like 06. He was flipping $1 million homes where I live in the Bay Area. And let's just say the market turned. He did not cut his losses early. He did not get out, for example, with a 7K loss. He was getting out with a 700K loss, and he went bankrupt in under a year.
Yeah, so I've met those, like I had some great mentors starting out when I joined the RIA, and people were much nicer and a lot humbler then because the market was down.
They got spanked.
So yeah, I had so many people tell me those stories like, man, I was worth X amount of 7 figures net. Like that was like net. That was the net. And then it all got wiped out. So yeah, people were, and now, the market's hot, so everybody's busy, but anyway, yes, those are, very, very real, man. So I'm not trying to do any new construction right now. Plenty of people are doing new construction and doing it well and making a lot of money. I just want to try to be skeptical in my business. Nice. and do what works for me and get into the
You're conservative, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So let's talk about your book. You have a book, I think it's called Flipping Houses Like Burgers, if I'm not mistaken.
I got Flip Houses Like Burgers 2.0. That's the
Yeah,
latest.
2.0. Yep.
Yes. And if you go to fliphouselikeburgers.com, you get the first 3 chapters for free. If you want to buy it, you find me on Instagram and click the link in my bio and you'll see it for sale. But yes, I do have an ebook on how to wholesale houses.
Very cool. Well, how do you want people to reach out, follow you? Because you are a guru. You are really doing this and you have experience. You're not like some of these folks been around 3 minutes and done 3 deals, right? You've had the HUDs, as they say.
Yeah.
So how do you want people to follow you, reach out? What do you want?
Follow me on YouTube, right? YouTube Real Estate Duru, right? On YouTube. And 1 second. Instagram is Real Estate Duru as well.
Yep.
And last but not not least, make sure if you guys want to chat, you want to talk to me, wherever the case may be, you guys can all welcome to hit me up at 704-285-1600. Yeah, man. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, just hit me up 704-285-1600 if you want to text, chat, you like the interview, whatever the case may be. If you want my 10-step cheat sheet to get into to wholesaling houses, this is free. I got a lot of free goodies in my IG
awesome
bio. So just text me the words one rental. Text me 2 words, one rental, and I'll give you the 10-step wholesaling PDF.
Very good. Well, Nasir, thank you very much for taking the time. Keep doing what you're doing. You're leading by example, which is amazing. Also, you're preaching being conservative and smart with your money. So just thank you so much for being authentic.
Yes, no problem, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you, buddy. Take care.